Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. It's not every day you see a rumor with this much potential to shake up the entire AFC North. But right now, there's serious buzz about a possible blockbuster trade involving Amon-Ra St. Brown, the dynamic wide receiver from the Detroit Lions and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And believe me, this isn't just some idle speculation. It's something that could reshape how the Steelers approach their offense in the coming seasons, especially as they look to contend for another Super Bowl. Let's back up a little. The Detroit Lions, sitting comfortably at 9-2, are in a solid position this season. They've got a cap space of around $11 million, which is pretty decent, and they're currently navigating some difficult decisions. Their roster is stacked with talent, but they're also facing some looming contract extensions, especially for their star players like defensive tackles and their offensive line cornerstone, Penei Sewell. However, what's catching the attention now is the possibility that the Lions might be willing to part ways with Amon-Ra St. Brown, a receiver who's been nothing short of spectacular since he was drafted in 2021. This potential trade is being compared to the Diggs deal in 2020, when Stefon Diggs was traded to the Bills, boosting their aerial attack by over 200 yards per game and transforming their offense into a legitimate threat. The Lions decide to move St. Brown, who's known for his precise route running, explosive yards after catch, and consistent production. They could be doing so to free up cap space, especially with Goff's looming contract extension and the need to bolster their defense at the cornerback and edge positions. Now, for the Steelers, this could be a game changer. Amon-Ra St. Brown, a true route artisan, has been a key piece for Detroit's passing game, generating big plays, yards after catch, and red zone efficiency. Over his 5 seasons, he's accumulated 450 receptions for over 200 yards, averaging 6 yards per catch with 35 touchdowns. His PFF grade has consistently been high, around 88.7, and his yards after catch per reception sits at about 5 yards, making him one of the most explosive slot receivers in the league. His ability to create separation and produce yards after the catch could be exactly what the Steelers need to elevate their passing game, especially considering their current struggles with consistency at the receiver position. In 2025, St. Brown played 11 games, catching 68 passes on 92 targets for 780 yards and 6 touchdowns. His metrics are impressive across the board. His route running, separation rate, contested catch percentage, and yards per target all point to a receiver who can elevate any offense. For the Steelers, adding a player like him would mean more than just extra yards. It would open up the field for players like George Pickens and allow Kenny Pickett to work the middle of the field more effectively. The idea is that with St. Brown on the team, the Steelers could push their passing efficiency even higher, perhaps by around 16%, and add more big play potential, especially in critical moments. But why would Detroit be willing to part with St. Brown? Well, even though he's been a reliable target, the Lions are navigating cap constraints, and with Goff's extension on the horizon, they might need to make some tough decisions. Also, Detroit has a solid core of receivers, and while St. Brown is a fan favorite, they might see this as an opportunity to recoup draft capital, possibly a third-round pick in the 2026 draft, as some insiders suggest. This move would give Detroit flexibility to address other needs, like bolstering their secondary or pass rush, while also ensuring they stay competitive in a loaded NFC. From the Steelers' perspective, this kind of trade could be a real step forward. Imagine a scenario where Pittsburgh pulls off this deal and pairs St. Brown with George Pickens. That's a duo that could cause nightmares for defenses. Their chemistry on the field and St. Brown's route precision would complement Pickens' big play ability perfectly. The Steelers would be looking at a significant boost in their offensive production, especially in the short to intermediate routes, which would help Kenny Pickett develop more consistency and confidence in his passing game. Moreover, St. Brown's presence could also help ease some of the pressure on the offensive line. With a reliable slot receiver who can create separation and rack up yards after the catch, the Steelers offense could become more unpredictable and harder to defend. This in turn would open up more opportunities deep down the field or in tight red zone situations, where Pittsburgh has been seeking more efficiency. His knack for contested catches and clutch receptions could turn into a major asset when trying to close out games or mount comebacks. Of course, there are skeptics. Some analysts argue that trading away a player like St. Brown might hurt Detroit's overall offensive flow, especially given how well he's been integrated into their system. Yet the Lions are at a crossroads where cap space and roster flexibility might outweigh the immediate benefits of holding on to him if they can land a solid draft pick or additional assets. It's a classic case of short-term pain for long-term gain, and Detroit's management could see this as the best move to stay competitive while shaping their roster for future success. For the Steelers, the potential acquisition of St. Brown isn't just about adding another receiver. It's about transforming their entire offensive identity. Pittsburgh has been searching for that consistent, reliable pass catcher who can make plays in clutch moments, something that St. Brown has demonstrated time and time again. His ability to operate seamlessly in the slot, to find soft spots in coverage, and to turn short catches into big gains aligns perfectly with the Steelers' philosophy of smart, precise offense. It could be the piece that unlocks Kenny Pickett's full potential, especially as they aim for a deep playoff run in the upcoming seasons. Looking at the bigger picture, this move could significantly impact the AFC North's dynamics. If the Steelers manage to land St. Brown, they not only improve their passing attack, but also send a message to their division rivals that they're serious about contending. The AFC North has been a tough, physical division, but with a weapon like St. Brown, the Steelers could become even more formidable, especially in shootouts or when trying to exploit mismatches. His addition would give them a new dimension, one that opponents might struggle to contain. And I should mention, the odds are stacking up that this isn't just some pipe dream. Odds makers are shifting, with some reports suggesting that the Steelers could see their Super Bowl odds improve significantly if they pull off such a move, moving from around plus 1,500 to plus 900, similar to what the Dolphins experienced after acquiring Tyreek Hill. The impact of adding a player like St. Brown could be felt immediately, making the Steelers a more balanced and explosive team. It's about making the right moves at the right time, and Pittsburgh fans know all too well how a single trade or signing can turn a season around. So what's next? Well, like any big rumor, we've got to see how it plays out. Detroit isn't going to give away St. Brown for nothing, and the Steelers will have to weigh the cost against the potential payoff. But if it happens, you can bet this will be a game changer, not just for the Steelers' offense, but for their entire playoff outlook. It could be the kind of move that pushes them over the edge into Super Bowl contention, especially if they pair him with the right pieces and keep building on what they've started this season. In the end, this potential deal embodies the aggressive, smart approach Steelers fans love, targeting proven playmakers, seizing opportunities, and aiming for greatness. Whether or not it materializes, it's a reminder that in the NFL, fortunes can change in an instant, and Pittsburgh is always in the mix. They're hungry, they're smart, and they're relentlessly chasing that next championship. And if acquiring St. Brown is part of that plan, you better believe the black and gold will be more dangerous than ever. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to YOU, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential trade? Do you think Amon-Ra St. Brown would be the perfect addition to our offense? Or do you believe the Steelers should focus on other areas in the draft or free agency? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers because at the end of the day, it's all about this passionate community that makes our team special. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news because the best is yet to come.